What is up, everyone? Hope you're doing well today. JD here with another new knife review. Today, I'm actually going to be doing a quick review of the Civivi Ki-V that I just recently picked up for a new 5th pocket carry. I did go with the coated 9CR18, I think it is, MOV. Good luck reading that. I can't even see that from here, and I don't have it right in front of me, but I think it is the 9CR. That is the designer. Sorry guys, it's really hard to read it because the print's so small. Let's see if I can get a good look at that. It is a 9CR18 MOV. Okay, so 9CR18 MOV. As you can see, it is a flipper. It does have the natural jade G10 scales. It does have a deep pocket carry clip if you're going to be carrying this inside the pocket. For jean 5th pocket carry, this is going to be really nice because that clip will allow it to stay on the top of the 5th pocket and not sink in there. As you can see, it is a very utilitarian blade shape, and it is a very nicely coated blade. Let me just quickly give you a comparison of what I intended to use this in the rotation for. So currently, some of my 5th pocket carries are my Leatherman Squirt and my Gerber Dime. And as you can see, this isn't really a good comparison because that's deployed. Let me go ahead and close that up. You can see this is relatively close in size, which was the draw to it. I think that's going to be a really good utility blade for, opening packages, opening envelopes, really quickly and discreetly pulling it out.
That's what she said?
If you needed to cut some loose string on a shirt or shorts or, things that you don't necessarily need to whip out a full-on pocket knife for, to use, in a restaurant or somewhere discreet. Whereas this, to pull this out for something that small of a task may not always be necessary. And, I like to use my Doug Ritter for a more heavy duty use, breaking boxes down, things of that nature. One of the other recent 5th pocket carries that I picked up, because in my actual khakis for my work pants, the insides actually have a 5th pocket down inside the pocket. This Cadet actually fits down in that pocket very nicely. So these are two knives that I could actually see using like in the office place when I do get a box or I do get some mail and need to break into it and just want to pop something open really quickly to use. Now, the front flipper is a double detent, and it does lock up well enough, and it does give the point above the pivot so that if you are having to push in and then cut through, that force is going upward. So it shouldn't break the detent, but again, if you're trying to use this for something very heavy, it is going to break. And it does have this little bit of a soft spot here where the jimping is on the bottom for the finger to kind of catch that if it were to break, if you were trying to do that. But most of the force when you're cutting across something is going to be pulling that blade to the open position. So that really shouldn't be a problem for me for what I intend to use this for. The other thing that I really like about this is I recently picked up the Imperium with the JG10 and the coated Nitro V blade, and I wasn't sure based off the pictures how well that was going to match up, but that actually does match up really, really well. So I thought that was really cool. Again, I didn't really think about the fact that it would match up and pair up so well, but I think that's a cool little combination, and the fact that these two actually are very close in color with that JG10 and that coated blade. The coated blade on the Ki-V is just a touch darker. I don't know if that comes off in the light, and I did have to turn it up just some. There we go. Yeah, so there I think you can see a little bit better that the coated blade on the Ki-V just a touch darker, but really it doesn't matter. I wasn't planning on matching these two up. I thought it was just kind of cool that it did match up with that Imperium. And really this is to go with any of my office carries because it is a 5th pocket carry, and it is just something that I can pull out quickly, discreetly, again, to get into packages, mail, any sort of loose string cutting, anything small like that is where I intended to use this. So trying to have a look inside, I wanted to have a look to see if you guys can see in there that the liner does have a milled spot right around where it's really hard to get it to show, but it does look like it has, no, is it a milled spot? Let's see. There it is. You can see it that way for sure. You can see it just has that one spot that's milled right below where the backspacers are. So hopefully, yeah, there you go. You can see that. But the rest of the liner, that's the nice thing about the JG10. You can see straight through it. It is very translucent. You can really get a sense of like what the liner looks like with that. Is this something that's very interesting to you, or are small little trinket knives like this that can go into like a survival tin or into a fifth pocket not something that really interests you? I have used it. I opened up the package where my button lock came in, and the Gerber that I'm going to be reviewing here shortly came in, and it does a fantastic job. This point actually is super useful for keeping it in the line to open the package. So I really do appreciate that. It is a very unique pocket knife, very small blade, nice alternative if you just want a backup blade and you don't feel like carrying a full-on Swiss Army knife or the squirt dime size multi-tools, especially if you're going minimalist. So this is a great option. I think it's great. Civivi always does a really good job with their knives. The action's really good. It did take a moment for me to actually get used to using this front flipper. It is a unique action because if you're trying to do it like you do with the normal front flippers, it doesn't really work. I have to put my finger right on the jimping here, and I have to use the very tip of it and come down like a light switch once I get over the initial hump. It wasn't really working. Ooh, that double detent when you're squeezing down is really good. It wasn't really working like a traditional flipper, and I know that it's really not big enough to use with the thumb because I'm doing it with two hands to kind of demonstrate, but it doesn't really open in that fashion. And if you do get it started and you don't quite get the flip right away, you can finish that off. It does give a little bit of a spot to grip onto here to finish, and there's no resistance because Civivi's actions are always very good on their knives. I like this. I think it's really cool. And I'll give you a long-term impression as well. I have been using this for a little while to get in packages, and it's doing exactly what I expected it to. The clip is really easy to use. It looks exactly like all the other Civivi pocket clips. They come up really high here, but in this instance, it doesn't really intrude. It actually helps with the grip because it does fit perfectly between the fingers where I am holding it to use it. I probably wouldn't use this jimping out here because I feel like that's what's going to break the knife. Maybe that was the intention, is so that you have somewhere to press on when you're ready to close it. But for me, I'm actually putting my finger right over top of where the pivot is to make sure that's securely locked in place. Sorry. Anyway, that is the Civivi Ki-V in the JG10 with the coded 9 CRV 18 MOV, if I'm saying that right. If not, there will be a little blurb on the bottom to let you know what it actually says, since I can't read that writing. And I don't know if you can see the light reflecting off of where it is on there, but that is really small writing. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Peace.